Good morning. I'm Rob Craig Coleman, your worship associate this morning. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading and our in-person and virtual Sunday service. My name is, of course, Rob Craig Coleman, and I am a member of the worship arts team. My pronouns are he and his. Whoever you are, wherever you are from, whoever you love, whatever your faith tradition, you are welcome here. Please go, if this is your first time with us, we extend a special welcome to you. Please go to the webpage at uureading.org for more information. There you will find details about our church community, sign up for the weekly newsletter, and find contact information from Melissa Martin, our member services coordinator, who can help you find answers to your questions. And now, on behalf of all the staff and volunteers involved in today's worship, I want to thank you for being here with us this morning, either physically or virtually. We believe that you belong here maybe just for the next hour, though we hope for longer. You belong here, and we give thanks to those that you are joining us today. And now I'm going to invite Tracy Sopchak up to talk about our pledge.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Sopchak. My pronouns are she and her. And here today I'm representing the Pledge Drive team. I am happy to announce that we have received 37 pledges totaling over $153,000. Thanks to all of you who have already submitted your pledge. But we have a long way to go. Our goal this year is $385,000, which is slightly larger than the $385 that Ryan mentioned last week. So if you haven't had a chance to submit your pledge yet, we ask that you please submit it by Commitment Sunday, which is next week. So you only have 1 week left to get your pledge in. We've sent out emails to everyone with links to all of our pledge drive information, including the brochure and the letter, as well as a link to submit your pledge online. You can also find all of the pledge drive information, including our FAQs, on the church website. And there are paper copies of the pledge packet in the atrium as well. If you have any questions or need any more information, please see me or any other member of the pledge drive team. AJ is here with us today at Social Hour. Every pledge, large and small, will be gratefully received. Your generosity will help get UUCR moving forward again. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite up Amy Stewart. She's going to share why UUCR is so special to her. Thanks, Amy.
Good morning. My name is Amy, and my pronouns are she, her. I live in Reading and have 2 boys, ages 12 and 9. My husband, who has church baggage from his childhood, joins me at UUCR on Christmas Eve and Easter. I was raised a Lutheran as a child growing up in Indiana and have wonderful memories of attending summer camp there. After my sister passed away in 2015, I started attending an Episcopal church in Medford, which is where we lived at the time. In 2017, my family moved to Reading. The proximity of UUCR to our home led me to check it out. Honestly, it was a bit of a rough start at the beginning. My older son at the time was in 2nd grade, and with his permission, I can share that he was kicked out of 2nd grade OWL class for disruptive behavior. I also struggled with how to include my younger son with a disability in the RE class without the one-to-one support that we had grown accustomed to in public school. Nevertheless, the former RE coordinator, Sally Lieberman, and membership coordinator, Melissa Martin's encouragement, we continued to attend UUCR. I attended RE training and began assistant teaching RE classes. I also joined a Chalice Circle in the fall of 2019 in an effort to nurture some spark of spirituality in myself. As a funny aside, my husband and older son affectionately teased me that I was joining a coven of witches. The Chalice Circle, facilitated by Charlene Reynolds Santo, was a wonderful experience, and as a result, I finally knew the names of a handful of adults who I felt comfortable talking to at coffee hour after service. Unfortunately, COVID cut my Chalice Circle experience short, and I drifted from UUCR as we, like everyone else, tried to cope and adjust to the disruptions of the pandemic. Fast forward to the summer of 2022, Allison Sillers contacted me and encouraged me to sign my older son up for 7th grade OWL classes. My memory is a bit fuzzy, but I think I said I would try to attend UUCR in the fall, but that I wasn't making any promises. So the boys and I returned to UUCR. My older son comes for the friendships and social opportunities. My younger son comes for the experience of being included in his own community and the goldfish crackers. Along the way, I know they also will learn or at least be exposed to UUCR principles. I started teaching RE again and enjoy the playfulness and creativity involved. I come to UUCR because it supports me in my parenting journey and because it is patient with me. I often feel devoid of any spirituality, too busy with working, parenting, disability advocacy, chauffeuring, planning, shopping, laundry, and cleaning. My husband does the cooking. However, I know that UUCR is here for me when I am ready and able to engage more. In the meantime, I am grateful and appreciative to the UUCR staff, members, and friends that surround me and inspire me. For these reasons, I pledge to UUCR, and I'm happy to report that I submitted my pledge on Friday and crossed it off my to-do list. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nancy Nienhaus, and my pronouns are she and hers. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other.
So as we light our chalice this morning with Unitarian Universalists all around the globe, I invite you to call into your heart the flame you kindle this morning, the flame of truth, of community, of commitment to love and justice. Please join in reciting our chalice lighting words, which are printed in your order of service. In a light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek. And each week we recite our children's affirmation of the reminder of the most important elements of who we are. Please join. I was looking for my helper, but he's apparently not here this morning. So, anybody want to come and help me do the affirmation?
In the pews for
Come on down. Come on down, guys. The more the merrier. You ready? Okay, let's wait till, well, one of them comes. All righty, we ready? We're going to get a crowd up here this morning before we're done. Okay, we ready? We are Unitarian Universalists, the church of the open mind, the helping hands, and the caring heart. Thank you, guys. Now please rise in body or spirit and sing our opening hymn, number 1053 in the teal hymnal, How Could Anyone?
Okay, could I have the children up here to join me? Everybody
Come on back, guys.
And those of you who feel like children this morning, come on up. Okay, come join me, please. Excellent. You all are always having so much fun in that section, I wish I could go over. Okay. All right, so I have a question for you. Does anybody know what this is? Close. A goose. Excellent. Very good. Now, have you ever seen a goose that looks like this? Okay, and you were feeding geese like this? Okay. Okay, all right. And Ethan, you said you saw one. Where was it? At the beach? Okay. All right, so this is a Canada goose. And these things are amazing in lots of ways, but one of the things that's so amazing about them is their wingspan. Anybody want to guess how wide their wings are? even a little wider than that wide. Okay, so it's 6.5 feet, all right? And we're gonna see if we can find somebody with a handspan that's 6.5 feet. Okay? Ethan, you wanna have your handspan measured? Come, okay. Come on up here. Okay.
Right up to Nancy. Stretch them as wide as you can.
Let's see. 4 feet 6 inches, which is pretty good. Anybody else? Okay, come on up. Okay, very good. 3 feet 4 inches. All right, who do you think here in this big group might have a? Wait, measure mine. You guys, can you measure mine? Come on, yeah, come on up. Okay, ready? I'll move this one.
All the way to the,
All the way to the-
tip of her fingers.
How wide is that? Oh yeah, I've got it over here. All right. 5 feet 8 inches. Still not wide enough. George, what are you doing? All right, let's see that wing.
Let's try it.
Okay, I need, Ethan, will you hold that on that side? Hold it all the way to the tip of his tippy fingers there, right? Hang on to it now. All right.
Right over here. Right up to the tip of his finger. Up here. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, 6 feet 1.5 inches. We are almost there. So, one of the things that geese do is when they have a friend that's hurting, 2 of their other friends will come and stay with them until they're not hurting anymore. So they will stay with their friend, and sometimes they'll take care of that friend, they'll feed that friend if they're hungry, and then when that friend feels better, they all go off together. That's a pretty good thing, isn't it? I mean, wouldn't you like to have a friend who stays with you when you're not feeling very good? Me too. Me too. And 2 friends would be even better. So the next time you see one of these in the park, I want you to remember that these geese always take care of each other, and I want you to think about how you can be a wonderful person and take care of your friends too. Okay? All right. Now, when you go out, you're going to need your jacket, so make sure you go get your jacket, okay?
So the kids are going to go off to RE with their jackets, and we're going to sing them out, which means we might need to do it twice to get them all out with their coats on. So we take time during our service to light our candles of community, peace, and justice. And so we light our red candle of community to signify our interconnection. Wherever you are in time and space, newcomer or longtime member, here in the sanctuary or joining us virtually, we light this candle holding you in love. And as we do that holding in love, we want to hold in love this morning our dear friend Diane Chapin, who lost one of her 2 geese yesterday. May this light welcome you, and may it hold you, reminding you that your presence is needed in this community. And as we light this candle, I invite you to speak aloud the name or names of people who are on your mind and heart today, to bring them fully into our space with us. So we light our blue candle of peace for all the places worldwide where people live with the threat of war and violence. Always when lighting this candle, we are reminded that the war in Ukraine continues, as do the crimes against humanity that accompany it. And we will hold in our hearts those, as Nancy will talk later, who suffer from the risks of domestic violence. As we light our yellow candle of justice, may all people everywhere live their lives in freedom, and may we each do our part in the work for justice and liberation for all in our global community. And as we recommit ourselves to the work of love and justice, may we each voice this commitment by saying, Amen.
Our prayer today comes from Barbara Peskin from a book she wrote called Day of Promise. In this familiar place, listen. Listen to the sounds of breathing, creaking chairs, shuffling feet, clearing throats, and sighing all around. Know that each breath, movement, the glance meant for you or intercepted holds a life within it. These are signs that we choose to be in this community, have things to say to each other, things not yet said, but in each other's presence still, trembling behind our heart's doors. These doors closed but unlocked, each silent thing waiting on the threshold between unknowing and knowing, between being hidden and being known. Find the silence among these people and listen to it all. Breathing, sighs, movement, holding back. Hear the tears that have not yet reached their eyes. Perhaps they are your own. Hear also the laughter building deep where joy abides despite everything. Listen, rejoice, and say amen. Now, if you have a joy or sorrow you would like to honor through lighting a silent candle, you are invited to come forward now.
And let me also give a reminder that these candles are on camera. These candles are not on camera for those for whom that makes a difference. Let us light our silent candles. Our reading today is Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of rain are moving across the landscape, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clear blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
I hear a bird chirping up in the sky. I'd like to be free like that, spread my wings so high. I see the river flowing, water running by. I'd like to be that river, see what I might find. I feel the wind blowing, slowly changing time. I'd like to be the wind, I'd swirl and shape the sky. I smell the flowers blooming, opening for spring. I'd like to be those flowers, open to everything. I feel the seasons change, the leaves, the snow, and the sun. I'd like to be those seasons made up and undone. I taste the living earth, the seeds that grow within. I'd like to be that earth, the home where life begins. I see the moon rising, reaching into night. I'd like to be that moon, unknowing, glowing light. I know the silence as the world begins to wake. I'd like to be that silence as the morning breaks. I hear a bird chirping up in the sky. I'd like to be like that, spread my wings so high. I see the river, the water's running, the water flowing by. I'd like to be the river, see what I might find. I feel the wind blowing, slowly changing time. I'd like to be the wind, I'd swirl and shape the sky. I smell the flowers blooming, opening for spring. I'd like to be those flowers, open to everything. I'd like to be those flowers, open to everything.
I could scrap the sermon and we could just listen to them for the rest of the time. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. So you may be wondering, and rightly so, what a sermon on domestic violence has to do with geese. So let me begin with a few words about geese, especially Canada geese. Now, many of us think of Canada geese almost immediately as a nuisance because of the mess they leave behind. And, you know, I live on the Ipswich River, and as many of you know that, but we have a lot of Canada geese in our backyard, and they come calling frequently, and they leave many calling cards behind. And I love to see them when they have the little ones with them, but otherwise I'd prefer that they go somewhere else. In urban and suburban areas, they are often very unwelcome because even 50 geese in a golf course or a park can leave 2.5 tons of manure behind them in a single year. That brings an unwelcome image to mind, doesn't it? The geese can chase people in the parks because they're after food, or they honk and hiss, and they might even nip at you if you get close to their territory. And this is especially true when they have nests and they're on the nests, which is right about now. So when I talk about emulating geese, this is not the behavior I was thinking of, just to be clear. But there are many things that I admire about Canada geese, some that I shared with the children. During their migrations, they slice the sky in those familiar V formations. Each population adheres to a rigid migratory pattern with the same traditional stopover and wintering areas. They are strong, swift flyers, and they can cover 1,500 miles in 24 hours by riding the wind currents. It's amazing. The V formation helps them save energy because each geese takes advantage of the air currents produced by the wingtips of the goose ahead of it. If one of these geese in the formation gets sick or injured and it has to go to the ground, 2 other geese go with it. They will stand near the incapacitated goose and they will feed it, try to help it heal. They'll protect it, they'll take care of it until it either recovers or dies. If the goose recovers, the 3 of them will join a new V formation and carry on. If the goose dies, then the 2 that went down with it will find a new formation and fly on. This month's theme in church has been about vulnerability. And those who experience intimate partner violence or domestic violence, or sometimes gender-based violence as it's known, are some of the most vulnerable people among us. For those of you who may not know, psychologist Lundy Bancroft defines domestic violence as a pattern of coercive control in a relationship, and it can involve 1 or more acts of physical violence, sexual violence, or threat of physical violence. And this pattern of control and intimidation may be predominantly psychological, economic, or sexual in nature, or it may rely primarily on the use of physical violence. Now, this violence is everywhere, though we rarely see it. 30% of women who've ever lived with a man have experienced intimate partner violence. And in fact, 85% of all survivors are female with male batterers. But men can be battered in relationships, sometimes by other men and sometimes by women. Most of the violence men experience occurs before they reach adulthood, the age of 18. One study reported that about 1/4 to 1/3 of LGBTQ+ people experience domestic violence, and about 1/4 of queer youth have experienced that. For trans people, and especially trans people of color, those statistics are even higher. Teen dating violence is also very common. 1 in 3 teens will experience physical, sexual, or emotional abuse by someone they're in a relationship with by the time that they become adults. And this abuse is rampant on college campuses too, with nearly half of all women on college campuses reporting experiencing violent and abusive dating behaviors from men they date. Domestic violence is the leading cause that women who are injured visit emergency rooms. It's the #1 cause. An average woman will try to leave her abusive male spouse 7 times before she makes it, if she makes it. And each time she tries, she's in grave danger, because we know that when a person tries to leave the relationship, whether it's a gay relationship, lesbian, heterosexual, trans, whatever relationship it is, queer, that leaving is the most dangerous time. And it's most often the time when the partner is killed. So when people ask the question, why doesn't this person just leave? It really shows that they don't know anything about domestic violence, intimate partner violence, because only that person involved can tell how dangerous their partner is. Only that person knows that when they try to get out, they're risking their life. And levels of this kind of violence are similar across the public domain. Doesn't matter if you're in church or out of church, the levels are very similar. So in every church, including this one, we have people who are survivors, and we have people who abuse others. Changes in a person's routine can be an important indicator that something is wrong. Emulating Geese and noticing such changes could very well save a survivor's life. And holding a perpetrator accountable may save their life as well, because it may keep them from doing something worse, like killing the partner, in which case they might spend the rest of their life in prison. In fact, when those who abuse others are held accountable by a faith community, they are more likely to stay in and complete an intervention program for those who abuse than someone who is not held accountable by a faith community. So we can have a powerful impact on those who abuse. And I really want to emphasize the role that you who are men here today can play. If you're together with other men in the church or elsewhere, and someone tells a sexist joke, hopefully you don't hear that very often anymore, but does anyone intervene? Do you laugh and write it off as just so-and-so being so-and-so, because the abusive man laughing in that circle with you is taking this denigration of women as proof that you agree with how he feels, how he sees the world, how he treats his wife? By not providing an alternate image and seeming to go along, which of course is the easiest thing to do, by not intervening, you encourage him to be who he is. But instead, you can model what just and loving relationships look like. You have a critical role to play. Now, part of our mission at UUCR is to help heal the world, which is a pretty tall order. But how wonderful it could be if we began by helping to heal the world of those who experience this violence. You might have noticed that in every order of service, we include the domestic violence hotline. You could point that out to someone that you're worried about. You could check in with each other, and if you're truly concerned about another congregant, ask them if they feel safe at home. Encourage them to talk to Reverend Laura, who is a minister who gets it and will do the right thing. I want survivors to be as fortunate as Geese. I want people to notice if they seem absolutely exhausted or have bags under their eyes because they haven't been able to sleep from stress or because their abusive partner has kept them awake. I want survivors to have a group around them who notice if they drop out of social activities or stop coming to church or seem to feel that they are worthless, a common message that the abusive person may be giving them as part of psychological abuse. Or do they seem to be wearing long sleeves in hot weather, which they might do to cover the bruises on arms and legs? I want at least 2 other people to be with them to make sure that they're safe, to help them get to a different situation without being killed by their partners. I want people to stay with them and care for them and do so until they heal and recover. Mary Oliver begins her poem, Wild Geese, with these lines: "You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. But in need for those who are in violent relationships, they often feel that they not only have to be good, they have to be perfect to avoid being harmed. They feel like they have to say, 'I'm sorry' forever because they're always the one who is wrong, according to the partner who is abusing them. For them, it probably feels like they're walking 400 miles on their knees through a desert." Oliver ends her poem with these lines: "Whoever ye are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. Survivors often feel desperate because they have no idea how to get out of their extremely dangerous situations. They don't feel part of the family of things. They feel absolutely alone, abandoned to the nightmare their worlds have become. Often even family and friends don't know or don't believe them. If we can support survivors and hold those who abuse accountable, if we can come to stand by those who are being abused and protect them and help them get to safety, then those among us who are abused may feel the air move around them as though some giant set of wings is drawing near, covering them so that they can be safe and heal, and so that we can be true to our mission to heal the world. Amen, and may it be so."
Thank you, Nancy. Our congregation exists and thrives through the gifts of those who call this place their spiritual home. If you are here with us in the sanctuary, you may put your gift in the collection plate as it goes by. Otherwise, you may give your gift online or send a check. As is our spiritual tradition here, we share half of each week's offering with a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. We do this not because we have more than we need, but because there is so much need, and this is a simple yet powerful way for each of us to live out our mission's commitment to heal the world. Our Share the Plate recipient for the Sundays in March is UU Mass Action. For information about UU Mass Action, you may go to their website at www.uumassaction.org. Please give as generously as you are willing and able to our Share the Plate offering to support UU Mass Action and the mission of UUCR. If this is your first time with us, your presence is gift enough. Thank you to all.
Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a-breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear fathers? They are down in the valley of praying. Day is a-breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where
Thank you, Liz, Molly, and Lorraine. You are a gift to this community. So this is the time for our part of our service we call our Congregational Life, where we will highlight various opportunities for engagement in this, our shared ministry. All of this is centered in our UUCR mission to nurture and explore individual spirituality, build a committed and loving community, and to help heal the world. This week we have two exciting opportunities for you to share in our congregational life. And for the first opportunity, here are again Liz, Lorraine, and Molly to talk about the soiree.
Hi, I'm Liz Lovell. My pronouns are she and her. So thinking about what to talk about today, all I could think of was, I don't know about you, but March feels like a really long month. I feel like every day has lasted a month. So it's one of those things where I need something fun to do. So great timing for the soiree. I think the soiree, and I've got my BFFs up here with me. The soiree is one of the most fun social events that we have at church, and it's for everybody, and it's an opportunity to raise money and have a great time all at once. We have the best food, because UUCR people always make the best food. We have excellent entertainment, live music. We have an abundance of incredible offerings this year. And so what I'd like to do is show you some of these offerings. Molly is holding up this beautiful stained glass piece of work done by one of our very own members, obviously, for our window. And it's going to be in the live auction. Set your money aside, save a few pennies, a few bucks.
I'm getting this one.
Oh, sorry, Molly's getting this one. Okay, so bid high and strong, because she'll go for it. And so we have the live auction part where we have beautiful offerings, and we have like a home and rock board, a boat ride. We have a sermon that you can bid on, so that Reverend Laura will do a sermon for you. We also have in our silent auction, where we have price points under 100. We have beautiful items such as the star. Here, I'll hold it for you too. Table runner that made by our very own Suzanne Sullivan. It's gorgeous. And so this is just, we have something like around 40 items or something like that in the silent auction with a new addition. May I say, I might not put, no, of course I have to put it in. Nancy Bond brought this today. It's shell. It's beautiful. It looks like rose gold on the chain. I'm going to be bidding on it. So feel free to bid me up. It's okay. So we just have a wonderful time, and I hope that you will find it a great opportunity to come and sign up, sign in, and just enjoy the fellowship, because that's really what it's about.
Check their email this week.
Oh, check your email this week. There will be an email giving you more details about.
Whole booklet of every item.
Oh, that's right. We're giving you a preview. That's true. Okay, but there might also be some extras thrown in at the end. So, okay, come to the soiree. Lots of fun.
The gift that just keeps on giving over there. Our second opportunity is a way for us to live out our faith by engaging in the work of justice, witness, and love. Reverend Laura invites you to join her here outside of the church next Sunday, March 26th, from 4 to 5 p.m. for a public witness event proclaiming that Black Lives Matter. We will have materials for you to make a sign, or feel free to bring your own. We also thank our UUCR quilters who are hosting today's social hour and will be on hand to assist congregations who wish to participate in our quilting activity for this year's raffle quilt. It's basically, we're going to get everybody's hand that we can get onto the quilt. And we hope that you will join in. Our friends online are invited to join today's Zoom social hour hosted by Tom Model. Thank you, Tom. And thank you for being a vital part of our congregational life. And now we're going to sing our closing hymn, We'll Build a Land. And I want to warn you that we're making a lyrics change where it says somewhere in here, sisters and brothers, it will be siblings in spirit. So when you get to a line that says sisters and brothers, change it please to siblings in spirit. That's number 121, We'll Build a Land, in your gray hymnal.
Someone once said that if we all have as much sense as wild geese, we will stand by each other in difficult times as well as when we are strong. Indeed, may we all grow to live our lives together this way. Amen. Blessed be. Oh, we got to extinguish the chalice. Please join me in the chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the power of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Oh, so I did the benediction out of order. Do you want to hear it again? Be like wild geese and go in peace.